Some moments in history are not just endings, but eternal warnings, frozen in time. What if the last day of a civilization wasn't a slow decline, but a single terrifying moment where the sky itself fell? On an otherwise ordinary day, one city's vibrant life was silenced forever, preserved not in memory, but in ash. This is the story of Pompeii, a tale of life interrupted, a world entombed, and a message that echoes through 2 millennia. What final secrets were sealed away on the day the world ended for its people? In the 1st century, the empire was at the zenith of its power, a sprawling civilization of law, art, and ambition. Nestled in the sunny bay of Naples, under the watchful gaze of what they thought was just a mountain, lay Pompeii. This was no dusty outpost. It was a bustling, prosperous city. Imagine streets paved with stone, alive with the sounds of commerce. Merchants haggled in the forum, bakers pulled bread from hot ovens, and politicians debated in grand villas adorned with stunning frescoes. The air was filled with the scents of wine, olive oil, and the nearby sea. The people of Pompeii were Romans, yes, but they had their own distinct identity. They were traders, artists, families. They loved, they argued, they lived their lives with a passionate intensity, all while the ground beneath them held a deadly secret. Mount Vesuvius was not a gentle giant, but a dormant volcano, a geological time bomb. The tremors they occasionally felt were not just earth-settling, but the faint whispers of an unimaginable apocalypse, warnings they simply didn't know how to read. Life was good, the future seemed bright, and no one suspected their world was about to be erased from the map. It was August 24th, 79 AD. The morning began like any other. The markets were opening, children were playing, and the wealthy were enjoying their leisurely breakfasts. Around 1 in the afternoon, the first sign of doom appeared. A deafening crack split the sky as the peak of Mount Vesuvius exploded with a force many times greater than an atomic bomb. A colossal column of superheated gas, ash, and pumice rock was hurled miles into the atmosphere, so high it blotted out the sun. Panic gripped the city. Some people fled immediately, desperately trying to escape the encroaching darkness. Others, perhaps confused or believing it would pass, sought shelter in their homes, cellars, and public buildings. For hours, a deadly rain of lightweight pumice and heavy ash fell upon Pompeii. It piled up at an alarming rate, feet deep, causing roofs to collapse under the immense weight, crushing those huddled inside. One man, a baker, was found near his oven, 79 loaves of bread still waiting to be sold. A family was discovered in the house of the golden bracelet, clutching each other in a final futile embrace. But the worst was yet to come. As night fell on the buried city, the volcanic column, now too heavy to support itself, collapsed. A pyroclastic surge, a terrifying, superheated avalanche of gas and rock moving at hundreds of miles per hour rushed down the mountain slopes. It was an unstoppable wall of death, instantly incinerating everything and everyone in its path. There was no time to scream, no time to run. In that moment, life in Pompeii didn't just end. It was flash frozen. The city, and all its inhabitants who remained, were sealed beneath a thick blanket of volcanic material, silenced in the middle of a sentence, a gesture, a final breath. For nearly 17 centuries, Pompeii was a lost city, a myth whispered among locals. But when excavations began in the 18th century, the world was stunned. Archaeologists found not just ruins, but a city perfectly preserved. They found loaves of bread, still intact in ovens. They found vivid frescoes on walls, their colors almost as bright as the day they were painted. But the most haunting discovery was made by an archaeologist named Giuseppe Fiorelli. He noticed strange voids in the hardened ash layers. Realizing these were the spaces left by decomposed bodies, he developed a brilliant technique. He poured plaster into these cavities. The result was breathtaking and chilling. Perfect casts of the people of Pompeii, captured in their final moments of agony and despair. A dog, chained to a post, writhing. A man shielding his face. A mother holding her child. These aren't statues. They are the exact shapes of people who lived and died there. We see their clothes, their hairstyles, even the expressions on their faces. It was a revelation that turned an archaeological site into a human tragedy. The twist wasn't just that Pompeii was preserved, but that the very substance that destroyed it also created these ghostly echoes, allowing the dead to tell their own silent story. The legacy of Pompeii is profound. It's more than just a tourist attraction. It's a time capsule that provides an unparalleled window into daily Roman life. Before Pompeii, our understanding of the Romans came mostly from the writings of the elite. But here, we see everyone. We see the graffiti they scribbled on walls, the tools they used, the food they ate. It demystified the Romans, showing them not as marble statues, but as real, relatable people. Pompeii has influenced art, literature, and our very understanding of history. Most importantly, it serves as a powerful reminder of nature's indiscriminate power and human vulnerability. Every year, millions walk its silent streets, standing in the shadow of Vesuvius, which still looms over the modern city of Naples. The casts of its victims are a poignant memorial, forcing us to confront our own mortality and the fragility of civilization. They teach us that history is not just about dates and empires, but about individual lives, tragically cut short. What happened at Pompeii wasn't the end of the world, but it was the end of a world. It reminds us that beneath the surface of our own lives, forces beyond our control can change everything in an instant. The echoes of that day continue to resonate, urging us to listen to the warnings of the past, lest we too become statues in a forgotten city. Thanks for watching. If you want to uncover more stories that time tried to forget, subscribe to Echoes of Time.